This is USNH Naples Hospital Hotspot. Hello, USNH Naples staff and beneficiaries. I'm Lieutenant Kate Rooney.
And I'm HM2 Apollo Silva, and you're watching Hospital Hotspot, our news program that brings you the latest news from USNH Naples.
It's the middle of PCS season, and we realize many of you are new to the area and new to USNH Naples. In the spirit of welcoming all the new faces, we are taking a different spin on Hospital Hotspot for the next few months. Today we bring you a series called Smooth Transitions. This series will answer many questions all of us ask when we arrive to a new duty station and hopefully help make your transition to life in Naples as smooth as possible. Welcome to this edition of Smooth Transitions. Thanks for watching with us today. Today we have Lieutenant Erica Nance and HM1 Caleb Highland. They're both members of our Command Fitness team, and they're going to be going over a lot of details for us on what you can expect if you're a new check-in for the PRT season or an existing member of the Command, as well as even covering some information on the changes that are going to be affecting all of us in Cycle 1, calendar year 2016. So without further ado, I'm going to turn you over to Lieutenant Nance at HM1 Highlands.
Hi, Lieutenant Nance. I'm HM1 Highland. I just had a couple questions for you because I know you're the Command CFL, and I had a couple questions in regards to this up-and-coming PRT cycle. I have a couple new check-ins who just got here, and our PRT is in a couple of weeks, so I'm trying to figure out if they still have to run.
Okay, all right. Well, welcome. So yes, the new check-ins that are checking on board are required. So back in the day, they used to have a less than 10-week waiver, and that is no longer in play. So everybody that checks on board to Naval Hospital Naples are required to do the PFA, which has 3 different components. So you have your RFQ, is the first one. And then the second one is the BCA, and then the last is obviously your physical readiness test. So all 3 of those will be completed by all 3 check-ins.
Okay, perfect. And so where do I send them to go to?
Okay, so they have to get their PHA and RFQ signed first, make sure that those are squared away, and then their BCAs are actually conducted in the Health Promotions Conference Room, which is on the 7th first deck. Right in the behavioral health hallway. So that's where we conduct our BCAs.
Okay, perfect. So a couple of my guys they've been trying to fill out their RFQ online, and it's not letting them complete it because it says something about a PHA not being done.
Okay. Yeah, so a couple people might run into that situation. If the PHA is not updated it's linked to the VOL system, they'll actually have to print it out manually and then take that to their PHA to have the PHA office sign that they've had a valid PHA. If any of the questions are answered yes, they're actually going to have one more step to actually go get a medical clearance. And that medical clearance is done by an AMDR, and the AMDR for support site is Lieutenant Commander Elliott, and we also have Lieutenant Hillebrand over at Capitolino. So those are some things to consider. If a waiver is recommended, then that will get forwarded to myself, and then ultimately the commanding officer is the one that approves the medical waiver.
Okay, perfect. And when are we going to be actually running the PRT, and how do I get my guys signed up?
Okay. All right, that's a great question. So we have a 10-week notice that was released in July, and that's posted on the Command intranet under the instructions and forms and notices. So you can download this and post that in your workspace. It has all the details as far as the dates and things like that, where the event is going to be taking place. So if your folks are interested in knocking out the PRT early, there's a PRT early date, which is the last week of September. So just have them sign up for that. So how do you sign up, right? You go onto the Command intranet under the tools, and there's a drop-down menu that says PRT scheduler. And there'll be all the list of dates and times, and you actually go in and just select which date you'd like to take it. And this is for the PRT. And once that goes to our PRT scheduler, they'll actually verify their PHA and their RFQ. If that's good to go, they'll get a confirmation email indicating that they are good to go for that particular date.
Okay. So that's the reason that we've been stressing signing up for the PRT on the intranet versus just showing up in there with the morning.
Right, absolutely. So the online scheduler is just a more efficient way to make sure that everybody's good to go with their PHA and RFQ. If people have not used documentation to make sure that they're not being, that they're squared away before we actually conduct their BCA.
Okay, perfect. So I also have another question for you in regards to the changes that are going to be coming up. I know that they're going to be changing next time for the next cycle. So can you kind of go over some of those changes?
Yeah, absolutely. So the NAB admin notice that was released actually affects this cycle just in a slight way. So the BCA procedures are exactly the same as they always have been. However, if a member fails the BCA, they will still be able to take their PRT. But they will be placed on a FEP program. So the FEP program consists of PT 3 to 5 times per week with a ACFL team member, weekly weigh-in checks, mandatory nutrition registration, and then also monthly mock PRTs. So that will happen for this cycle for anyone that fails the BCA. For next cycle, right, so that's what the hot topic is, there's actually 4 key things to remember that I'm just going to discuss very briefly. So the first one is that there's going to be an updated RFQ. The Navy is going to change the way that it's assessing the overall health of sailors. The second one is that the BCA methodology, as far as what we've been accustomed to, is changing. You might hear some rumors about, like, the 3-step process. So that is going to go into play for next cycle. I won't get into those too many details. You'll have to stay tuned in for the next cycle to get that information. Another change to keep in mind for 2016 is that the BCA is on a graduated scale based on a sailor's age. And then lastly, they're going to reduce the number of failures leading to a separation. So instead of 3 failures in 4 years, it's going to be reduced to 2 failures in 3 years. So those are the top things to remember for next cycle.
Awesome. Perfect. Team, thank you very much for your time. You've been a great help.
All right, welcome.
That's all today on Hospital Hotspot. Remember, you can always keep up with USNH Naples by following us on Facebook. Until next time, for USNH Naples Public Affairs Office, I'm Lieutenant Kate Rooney.
And I'm HM2 Apollo Silva, and we'll continue to lead the change to better health.
Thank you.